Alright, we were kind of rudely interrupted there by the amount of time I can record on my stupid camera here. Anyway, so what I was about to say was the wave feature. Probably the most recognizable feature that's on an Emerson combat folding knife. At this point, every military contractor, you know, Navy SEALs out of Coronado, police groups, overseas, every single one of the purchases stipulates that the knife have the wave feature. And it's interesting because the wave feature wasn't actually meant to do what it does. Let me show you first. We'll take this out. This is what they call the wave feature right here. Now, the reason for that was these Navy SEALs came to Ernie and they said, "Look, Ernie, we want something that if we go deep penetration, we want something that's going to stop that blade from over penetrating or sliding across bone or whatever." And the hook was specifically there. The wave was specifically there to stop that. So you'd enter inside something and that hook would stop. That would stop the sliding motion of the knife going into the body or whatever. It is a combat knife, so don't get all weird about that. Anyway, so that was it. And they came to him one day in Coronado and they said, "Hey, Ernie, can you do something like that?" He says, "Yeah, I'll mess around a little bit." And he did. And he says, one of the guys says, "All right, I'll take this and we'll test and evaluate it a little bit and we'll get back to you." And Ernie's got a funny story about this where he says, "You know, I had one of the ones with the waves that I made a couple of them, and I had it in my pocket at the time. And it was in his pocket like this." This is hard with this camera angle, so bear with me. Had it in his pocket like that, and he pulled it out, kind of slow, but as he did it, it hooked. See, I'm doing this wrong. As he pulled it out, it hooked right there, and it kind of started the process of bringing the blade out. And he thought, well, that's kind of interesting. So he put it in there a little harder. And the next time he did it, he pulled quick, and it came out a little bit more. And he said, "Oh man, this is nuts." Basically, the phone starts ringing right about then, and he puts it in one more time and pulls it out. And bam, the knife pops out and locks in. Now, when you have your pants on and you're pulling it straight up like that, it works a lot better, let me tell you. Anyway, and like I said, the phone was ringing at the same time, and the guys that had taken the knife, the Navy SEALs, were calling him saying, "Man," and he uses some language here. Oh, don't freeze up again. He uses some language here where he says, "Oh, son of a bitch, you won't believe what this knife does when you pull it out of the pocket." And sure enough, they were describing exactly what he was going through. So he gives them credit for coming up with the idea of the little hook for something altogether different, which was to catch for to prevent over penetration. And it ended up becoming one of his biggest features on his knives, the biggest feature. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the one-sided geometry. I don't know if I covered this in the first part. A lot of people don't realize, but you see one side's completely flat, and the other side has what a lot of people call a chisel grind. Now, the reason for that was for military operators in the field to be able to grab this knife and rub it on a piece of concrete and quickly give it a serviceable edge. So that was the reason behind that. Let's see, this particular one is a custom. These go from anywhere between $1,000 and $1,500. These things are handmade by Ernie himself. This one's got titanium bolsters and distress micarta scales on it. It's titanium over titanium. It's actually a really light knife for what it is. I'll give you a few size comparisons here. Yeah, see, that's my Burnley, Boker Burnley there. It gives you an idea. And here's my Spyderco Manix 2, the one in the S110V, the lightweight. So, get this out of the way. That gives you a pretty good idea of the size. It's a 3.5-inch blade. This is the mini, so there's one bigger than that even.